Are you scared of dying alone? Do you ever worry that you will never find someone who truly loves you or someone who will always be there for you? Does the idea of being 80 years old and sitting at an old folks home with nobody by your side make you feel uncomfortable? Does it give you a bad feeling in your stomach that you immediately just want to get rid of? That feeling in your stomach is something that will ruin your entire life unless you learn how to get rid of it. And I'm going to tell you exactly how to do this by sharing with you a story. This is Chris. Chris is a guy who had a lot going for him. He went to a good high school, he went to a good college, he had friends, and he was a pretty smart guy. But underneath all of that, he was actually very disturbed. When Chris was a child, his dad would say very harsh things to him. Whenever he did something wrong or he couldn't figure something out, his dad would say things like, "Chris, I don't have time to help you with everything. Why can't you just be smarter or be better? How come you can't be more like the other kids and stop asking your parents for literally every single thing? Just be better." Chris's mother tried to make him feel better after these arguments, but the emotional wounds ran pretty deep. His dad wasn't all bad though. He did love Chris, and he loved his family, and he worked very hard in order to provide for them. He paid for Chris to attend a great boarding school, and he paid for him to attend a great college, and he would even check in with Chris to make sure that his grades were good so that one day he could get a good job, and then one day he could have a family of his own. But soon after Chris graduated college, his dad died of a heart attack. When his dad passed, Chris had a deep feeling of emptiness and loneliness, and he found it very hard to do basic things like go to work or go to the gym or go to the grocery store. And as time went on, he even found it hard to get out of bed in the morning. Chris got to the point where he was willing to do anything to make this sad, lonely feeling go away, because if he couldn't make it go away, then he didn't see a point of living life. So he set out on a mission to try and fix himself. His mom told him that the reason why he felt sad and lonely was because he didn't have a family to take care of, and that he didn't have a girl in his life who could hug him and make him feel better. Get a girlfriend and your problem will be solved, his mom said. So Chris followed her advice, and he met a very nice girl. At first, she made him feel better. They would laugh together, they would watch movies together, they would go for walks, and they seemed like a great couple. But as the years went by, Chris became more and more emotionally dependent on her, and they started to argue over really stupid things like what movie to watch or what to have for dinner or what chores who should do around the house. And as even more time went on, they started to scream at each other, and they would call each other all these horrible names, and things got pretty bad. One day, Chris's girlfriend came home and she told Chris that she had been offered a job in London and that she was going to take it. So she suggested that they break up. And this really triggered Chris, and his initial reaction was to not let it happen. And he begged her not to go, and that if she was going to go, then they should try long distance and they should try to make it work. But unfortunately, she had made up her mind, so she packed her bags and moved out. The first night when Chris was alone in his apartment, that lonely feeling quickly returned. But this time, it felt worse, and it was much deeper and sharper than previously. And his initial reaction was to get rid of the pain at all costs, or to at least blunt the pain. So he very quickly went out and got another girlfriend. And for the next 10 years, Chris repeated the cycle of getting a girlfriend, breaking up, feeling lonely, and then getting another one. It went on and on and on. The problem with his relationships were that they never really felt right, or there was always something wrong, and that really deep love feeling that we all see in movies or we read about in books was never really there. One night, when Chris was alone in his apartment, he searched for his ex-girlfriend on social media, and he saw that she was now with another guy in London, and she looked very happy. And he told himself that he was happy for her, but deep down, he wished that she was as sad and as miserable as he was, but he would never admit this to himself or to anyone. As time went on, this incomplete feeling only worsened. So Chris thought to himself, you know what the problem is? I don't have enough money, or I'm going to try and become friends with the popular people or even the famous people. When I do that, all my problems will be solved. So he started to work all the time, and he would focus all of his awareness into that. And then after work, he would put himself through a really intense workout at the gym. And then after that, he would try to network with these famous people or successful people. And he would always put 100% of his awareness into whatever activity that he chose to do. Chris's brain tried convincing him that he was happy, and his mind would say things like, Chris, look at the nice car you have, and look at your body, and look at all your friends. Man, this is amazing. There are so many people who wish they could be you right now. But deep down in his gut, he knew that something was off and that he wasn't happy. Eventually, Chris did find someone to marry. They both were in their 40s and they both had been through a couple unsuccessful relationships. They had an amazing wedding day. Family and friends were there. They had great food. Everyone was smiling. It was a beautiful day. But they would never admit to anyone or to themselves that the main reason why they were getting married in the first place was because they both knew that they were past the stereotypical get married age, and that they both were worried that if they didn't get married now, then it may never happen. But on the surface, everything looked pretty good. They had a similar sense of humor. They both liked to go hiking. They both liked Italian food. But underneath all of that, there were many problems, and they fought a lot during their first 10 years of marriage. But eventually, they got to the point where they were sick of fighting, and they did not want to spend their remaining years on Earth always battling each other. So they stopped. And they told the world and themselves that the reason why they stopped fighting was because they had just worked everything out and they started to listen to each other more. But deep down in their hearts, neither of them were truly happy. They both had just accepted the fact that there were certain topics and certain issues between them that were never going to be 100% solved. And they convinced themselves that the love that they felt for each other was real. But the reality is that the love they felt for each other was just the other person easing the other person's fear of dying alone. Many human beings try and use external things to solve their internal problems, and the reason why Chris was lonely was not because he did not have a girlfriend or a family. It was because he had repressed issues that were caused by his father that he never really dealt with. And then, when he died, those issues only became worse. Instead of facing his emotions head on, he tried using a relationship to solve them, which will never work. If you begin with a problem inside yourself, and you try to solve it by getting involved with somebody else, that relationship will have problems because your problems are what caused the relationship in the first place. The shocking truth about loneliness is that it usually stems from dark issues that are already inside of you, and the only way to cure your loneliness is by going within yourself and letting go of those dark issues that have been running your entire life. Only then will you be free. If you're watching this video and you want to receive my exclusive content that I'm not allowed to post to YouTube, then you can click the box below and sign up for my email list. But again, this is only for the people who want the exclusive content that I'm not allowed to post to YouTube. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.